Today I have something extremely exciting to show you all. Last year I did a full review on one of the most anticipated new handheld devices, the ROG Ally, and it went on to become one of the best new pieces of gaming tech in 2023. Well, today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new, recently announced updated version, the ROG Ally X. So sit back and let's get into it. So yes, the ROG Ally is back again with a new and updated version, and just like last year, I am very excited to get my hands on one of these and test it out. So first things first, let's open up the box and see what you get inside. On the top we have the Ally X device itself, which we'll take a look at shortly. Then underneath we can open up this compartment where we find the redesigned charging cable, which in this case has a US plug, so I'll need an adapter, and a USB-C connector. Then there's actually another box here on the right, but it has nothing inside. Now this is an early review unit rather than retail, so I'm assuming that this will have something inside in the future. Finally, if you turn over the lid of the box, inside here you will find a little stand which you can use to place the Ally X on your desk or wherever you want. Taking a look at the design of the Ally X, the first thing you'll notice is that this model is black. I spoke to ROG before the launch and they said one of the biggest things mentioned in feedback was that people wish the device came in black instead of white, as the white models can get dirty after long-term use. Now I personally do prefer the white purely because that's my aesthetic, as you know from my setup, and my first thought about them getting dirty was just maybe you should clean it more. But to be fair, I do think it looks very sleek in the new all-black design. The shape of the Ally X has also been remodeled with slightly deeper handles and a new, more rounded shape to improve the comfort levels. In terms of controls then, we still have the same layout with the left thumbstick and arrows on the left-hand side, and another thumbstick and 4 ABXY buttons on the right. Then of course we have the bumpers and triggers located on the top edge each side. The buttons and stick arrangement has been slightly redesigned in a slightly more ergonomic angle, and a slant has been added to the triggers to make them easier to press. The thumbsticks themselves have been replaced with new, more durable modules rated for a 5 million cycle lifespan and stiffer springs to feel more like you would expect on a controller, and they definitely feel a lot nicer than the old ones. The D-pad also has some small improvements with more precise 8-direction inputs for things like fighting and retro games. Looking at the back of the device, the macro buttons have also been made smaller to prevent accidental presses while still allowing them to be easily accessible. Another thing that a lot of people requested was a more universal I/O. To fix that, the XG mobile port has been replaced with 2 USB-C ports, one of which is Thunderbolt compatible for use with third-party docks and external GPUs. Both of these ports also support DisplayPort 1.4 with FreeSync. As well as the USB-C ports, the Ally X also has a micro SD card reader and a 3.5mm audio jack for use with external headphones or speakers. Now let's get on and talk about the specs of the Ally X. The new device is packing the same AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor as the old version, using AMD's Z4 architecture with 8 cores and 16 threads, as well as AMD's Radeon graphics with RDNA 3. The device also has an upgraded 24GB of LPDDR5 7000MHz dual-channel RAM, which allows users to allocate more memory to the system and GPU for even better gaming performance. It also has a new 1TB M.2 SSD, which is double the storage of the older Ally model, which had a 512GB M.2 included, so plenty more room for games. Along with this, the motherboard of the Ally X features an M.2 2280 form factor slot, allowing users to more easily upgrade to larger storage drives than was previously possible. The screen on the Ally X remains the same as it was on the older model, with a 7-inch 1080p Full HD 16:9 aspect ratio 120Hz IPS display, and this was one of the things that had me most excited on the original Ally. Whilst I would love to see what one of these devices would look like with an OLED display, the screen on the Ally X looks as good as ever, and gaming on here remains a fantastic visual experience for a handheld device. Games look extremely sharp and crisp, and the 500 nit peak brightness is more than bright enough for use both indoors and out and about. Colours look rich and vivid, so you can enjoy both games and media on the Ally X, knowing that you'll be getting lovely visuals. So speaking of gaming, let's talk about how the Ally X stacks up. Gaming performance on the original Ally was pleasantly surprising, and the Ally X builds on that very nicely. We've mentioned how nice everything looks on the screen itself, but games themselves also perform very nicely with smooth flowing gameplay in a variety of titles. I tried out a bunch of different games on here through both local play and also some cloud gaming, and the experience was just as good as I was hoping. And something to note here is that this is only one of the initial early review units, so the performance will only become more refined and polished when the time comes for them to hit the market. With handheld gaming becoming so much more popular again over the past 18 months or so, it's great to see these devices not only coming out, but the foundations being built on and improved already. This is a full Windows 11 device, so you can kick back and play any games that you would be able to on a PC or laptop. You can play games from apps such as Steam, Xbox, Epic Store, even PlayStation, and you can play both locally thanks to the onboard storage or via cloud gaming if you have a network connection. This means that the Ally X is open to a huge library of games to play on the go, so you can kick back and enjoy all of your favorite titles wherever you are. And almost all games fully support the native controls on the device, apart from PlayStation, which continues to refuse to work via remote play, so you would have to install third-party apps to get that working. But if you have the correct PlayStation Plus subscription, you can play some titles via the PS Plus app, and these games do work natively with the controls. If you did want to play via remote play on the official app though, you'd need to connect a controller to the device. Moving on to the internals, and ROG have also made a bunch of upgrades here as well, including a new 80 watt-hour battery, which we'll get onto more a bit later. And they've also overhauled the cooling system, including new fans which are 23% smaller but utilize 50% thinner blades for better airflow. There are two new cooling tunnels which channel air up and out of a new third vent located on the top edge of the Ally X. ROG say all of this allows 24% more air volume to pass through the device to aid in cooling the internal components and the touchscreen, reducing temperatures by up to 6 degrees. Something else that has continued to impress me with the new device is the audio quality. The Ally X has kept the dual front-facing speakers either side of the screen, and with support for Dolby Atmos included, as well as smart amplifier technology, AI noise cancelling technology, and high-res audio certification, the Ally X really packs a punch when it comes to audio quality. The speakers produce a nice full sound without any distortion, which helps to develop a more immersive experience when gaming, and paired with the fact that there is virtually no fan noise from the cooling, it is an all-round great sounding device. Now let's talk about the battery life, and this has also improved a lot. As mentioned, the Ally X packs an 80 watt-hour battery, which is double the capacity of last year's model, meaning you can spend much more time gaming on the go without having to worry about charging or running out of battery. This is something I'm very happy to see, as when I was testing out the Ally last year, battery life was definitely one of the few features that I was a little disappointed by. It's great to see that ROG have improved on this though, and while I haven't fully had a chance to test out just how far I can push the battery, there is a noticeable improvement, and I'm very happy with the upgrades they've made. What's also very impressive is that even with double the battery capacity, the Ally X is only 70 grams heavier than the previous model, with the weight distribution centered between where your thumb and forefinger lie to give the impression that it's lighter than it is. So with this being a full Windows 11 device, you can use any apps or features that you can on a PC or laptop. So if you didn't fancy doing any gaming, you can open up the browser and scan the web, maybe pull up YouTube and subscribe to check out some of my other videos. Or you can install apps such as Spotify to listen to music, or entertainment apps like Disney Plus and Netflix to kick back with a good old movie or TV show. The final thing that ROG have updated and improved is their Armoury Crate software, which can be opened using the button on the right of the screen. Armoury Crate SE 1.5 features a new customizable game library, which is a step up from when I was testing the original Ally last year and makes gaming easier than ever. As with the previous device, you can add all your favorite games in the library, and if they don't show up automatically, you can easily add them manually as well. And aside from all your games, you have full control over the various device settings, performance modes, and command center layout. The command center itself can easily be opened using the button on the left-hand side of the screen for quick access to these as well. So overall then, the ROG Ally was already one of the best new handheld devices on the market when it launched last year, but ROG took that and decided it wasn't enough and added a whole raft of upgrades to take the Ally X to a whole new level. Whilst it still features the same screen, same processor, and many other specs from the original, The upgrades to the RAM, storage, battery, ergonomics, connectivity, and software has taken a bunch of the drawbacks from the Ally and basically eradicated them on the Ally X. My only personal gripe is the fact that it no longer comes in white, but from what I was told, I'm in the minority there, so that shouldn't bother many people. The new Ally X will be available from the 22nd of July here in the UK, and I'll find out if that's the same for all regions between now and the release and include it on screen. Price-wise, it will come in at £799, which is £100 more than the original Ally was at launch, and to be honest, I think the upgrades definitely make it worth the price. I have had a blast testing this out, and honestly, I could take this with me wherever I go, or even just sit and play with this while my kids are hogging the TV and have a great time. ROG have done a brilliant job with this, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found the video helpful. Don't forget to check out my channel for more vids like this and drop a sub if you fancy. I'll be back with another video very soon. For now, you can enjoy one of the ones on screen, and I will see you in the next one. See you later.